Good afternoon, everybody. It is What's Up Wednesdays, and I am your Senator, Norfolk Senator Angela Williams Graves, representing the 21st Senatorial District in the city of Norfolk. I know it's a drizzly day, but it's a good day to be alive, right? Any day that you are alive, it's a good day to be alive, says the mortician's wife. All right. So look, we're running a little bit behind today. I am in Richmond, had a committee meeting to chair this morning, and I have an event here. But I wanted to make sure that we got you the most updated information that we have, because guess what, y'all? We have an election coming up. And not only do we have an election coming up, we have a very important election coming up. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we get closer to election day. But I want to make sure that I give you all some context on where we are and why elections and voting is so important to all of us. But most of all, my district, the 21st district, and the city of Norfolk. So let's get started and let's hop in. All right, I'm already on the last slide. Here we go. All right, so who has the right to vote? Well, right now, everybody who is a citizen of the United States has the right to vote, unless you have your rights have been removed because you are a convicted felon and your rights have not yet been restored. Okay, the governor has the ability to restore your right to vote if you apply for restoration of rights. And that's a whole nother conversation that I cannot get into right now. But basically, if you're 18 years of age or older, if you will be 18 by election day, you have the right to vote. And also, if your rights have been restored, if you're a convicted felon and your rights have been restored, you have the right to vote. And obviously, you have to be a legal resident of the United States, and you have to be a resident of whatever state it is that you are voting in. All right, so that's the who. But also, just to put a little bit of context to this, the 14th, I'm sorry, so let's go back a little bit. The 13th Amendment outlawed slavery, or so we thought. And then the 14th Amendment, which was approved by Congress, granted citizenship. All right, that granted citizenship, which included former slaves, and granted equal protection under the law, or so we thought. And then there was the 15th Amendment. The 15th Amendment stated that voting rights could not be denied or abridged by the United States or any state on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. In other words, if you were a slave, and you could then vote. But the thing about the 15th Amendment is that it did not have any mechanisms for enforcement, nor did it bar states from putting all these ridiculous rules together that said you had to be able to read, you had to be able to count jelly beans, you had to pay a poll tax, which was what a lot of southern states did in order to prevent a certain group of people, i.e. Black folk, from voting. And here's the thing, this is not stuff that's made up. This is not stuff that is designed to devise people or be divisive. This is just the facts of history. And if you go back and you read the Constitution and you read the amendments, you will find that these things are there. It's not Angela saying it. It's the Constitution of the United States of America saying it. Who has the right to vote? Now, interestingly enough, women did not have the right to vote in this country until 1920. That was known as the movement of women to be able to vote did not occur until did not come to fruition rather until 1920. There was a movement. It was called the women's suffrage movement, and there's a movie out there about it that really, and several documentaries that really depict what women went through in order to obtain the right to vote, a right that was supposedly guaranteed to us in the Constitution of the United States of America. We did not have that right to vote. And so the 19th Amendment granted women the right to vote. It was ratified on August 18th, 1920. We held an event for it last year, highlighting some of the women who are in elected office now, just to highlight the women's suffrage movement. And this amendment states that the right to vote cannot be denied or abridged on the basis of sex. But what could still happen is that Black people could still be poll taxed. We could still have to prove that we could read. We could still have to count the number of jelly beans in the jelly bean jar, even though the person who put the jelly beans in the jelly bean jar didn't know how many jelly beans were in the jelly bean jar. All right. Do your history, watch the documentaries. It's not I'm not making this stuff up. I don't even have that kind of imagination. But again, who has the right to vote? So now we move to the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which is described as a landmark piece of legislation, the most influential piece of legislation in U.S. history. And it was signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson on August 6, 1965. It has had some reiterations to it, but it was designed because folks in the South did not want Black folks to be able to vote. And so this piece of legislation has been amended to expand protections as to why people cannot be denied the right to vote. And here's the thing, the right to vote is so important. It's so important. And it's important because you have a direct say in who is in office to represent you. You have a direct say on certain pieces of legislation and constitutional amendments that govern how our city, state, and country are regulated, and how people are treated, and what laws and rules are put in place based on the folks who sit in the seats. And so there is a saying that says, if your right to vote was not important, folks would not be trying to take it away from you. People are purging voting rolls. We know our own governor in Virginia has purged people's names off of the voting rolls. Some purged accordingly. All right. Some were valid. They may have been deceased. They may have been convicted. They may not have voted in the last couple of presidential elections. That'll get you kicked off the rolls too, right? But then there are some whose names have been purged from the voting rolls that are legally able to vote, have voted in every election, have not moved, and moving is not a reason for you to be purged from the election rolls, although I understand there's a case in Virginia Beach where that has actually happened. And so you want to make sure that you know where you stand and you know what's going on in this upcoming election. So here's what we've got. You're going to see over the course of the next 45 or 6 days or so, a lot of information about voting. But my goal is to make sure that Norfolk votes. We are partnering with several nonprofit organizations, several of our churches, making sure that there is the ability for folks to register to vote in churches. If you are a pastor and you want to be a part of this movement of Norfolk Votes, or if you've got an organization that is putting an event together and you need folks there to help register people to vote, please call my office at 757-549 524 4941, 757 524 4941, because we want to make sure that everyone who is eligible to be registered to vote is able to get registered to vote. We don't want anyone who wants to register and can register to be ineligible because they didn't have the information. So here are some important dates for you with regard to the upcoming election. These dates: election day is Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. But like the church song says, don't wait till the battle is over, shout now. I'm going to tell you, don't wait until November 5th. Vote now. As of Friday, September 20th, you will be able to early vote all across the Commonwealth of Virginia. All you need to do, if you don't live, and this information is going to be pretty specific to Norfolk because that is where I represent, but I'm also going to give you the mechanism to find the resource to be able to find out information if you live in a different locality where you can get the information to be able to go get registered and be able to go and vote. So on Tuesday, November 5th, that's election day. Early voting starts on Friday, September 20th, and it goes all the way through Saturday, November 2nd at 5 p.m. All right. So from Friday, September 20th, all the way through Saturday, November 2nd at 5 o'clock, you can go to City Hall in Norfolk and vote. All right. The voting locations are on the first floor of the City Hall building, and you can park, and there is no cost for you to park in the city garage. All you have to do when you leave is push the button, tell the attendant you were here to vote, and they will wave the arm and you can go on out and you don't have to worry about parking. If you have an issue where you cannot walk, if you are not mobile and you cannot walk from the parking garage to the to City Hall, to the City Hall building in order to be able to vote, you can roll up in the circle. And I'm looking for the phone number right now. You can roll up in the circle and you can call, hold on, 757-664-4353. That's the phone number to the Norfolk Registrar, where you can call in, let them know that you're in the vehicle and that you're not able to walk the long distance from the parking lot to City Hall. They will send someone out to verify your ID. They will bring your ballot and they will certify that you've completed your ballot, and they will take it back into the registrar's office for it to be counted with the rest of the votes. So there is no reason for you not to be able to vote, all right, in early voting. Now, here's the thing. Absentee ballots. I'm going to skip over registration. I'm going to come back to that. But you can also request an absentee ballot. That request has to be made by Friday, October 25th at 5 o'clock. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But that absentee ballot has to be returned by 7 p.m. on election day at the registrar's office or at your polling place or drop box. Now, you can also put it in the mail, but it has to be, and I apologize, the logo is covering that information up. It has to be postmarked by November 5th. So if you're mailing it back, it has to be postmarked by November 5th, and then it has to be received in the registrar's office by noon on Friday, November the 8th. That is the Friday following election. So we allow some time for the post office. But if you want to bring your absentee ballot back to City Hall, to the registrar's office, you can do that. or you can drop it off on election day at your polling place. You can't do it before election day, but you can do it on election day, or you can mail it back. And then as far as registering to vote is concerned, October 15th at 5 p.m. is the last time that you can register to vote in person, okay, at the registrar's office, or by 11:59 p.m. online. There is an online mechanism for you to be able to register to vote, and I'm going to give you all the links there as we go through this. But understand this: if you are eligible to vote and you miss the October 15th deadline, then you have the opportunity to register and vote on the same day if it's after October 15th up until Tuesday, November 5th. Okay, so if you missed the day, you were out of town, you didn't realize it, whatever, and you say, oh my God, I want to register and I want to vote. In Virginia, thanks to Democrats, we have same day voter registration and voting. And the thing that you just need to know is you need to have all your ducks in a row when you do this. You need to have your ID. It needs to have a valid address on it. If the ID that you have and the address that you live in is different, you need to bring proof of your new address for your voter registration so that your registration will take effect and your provisional ballot will be counted. All right. So it's just a few little things that you got to do. But this is really important, y'all, because people died for us to be able to have the right to vote. There are Black folks in graves right now. There are women who were sent to the crazy house, as they called it, because we wanted to be able to vote. So this is so important. All right, so here we go. More information. General election information is at www.elections.virginia.gov. And if you're listening to me, Virginia is spelled all the way out. So elections.virginia.gov. If you're in Norfolk, if you're a Norfolk resident, we made it real easy. Just go to norfolk.gov/elections. All right, norfolk.gov/elections in order for you to be able to get all of the information as it pertains to Norfolk. If you go to the elections.virginia.gov, there's a place in there for you to ask what locality you want information on and just click on whatever locality it is that you want information on. Oops, wait a minute, hold on, I'm going backwards. All right, and then early voting again starts on Friday, September 20th, 2024 at City Hall, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can go, you can vote, you don't have to pay to park, and you can call the registrar's office at 757-664-4353, and someone will come out to the circle and help you if you are unable to walk from the parking lot over to City Hall. Get your absentee ballot. Get your absentee ballot. Make sure if you want an absentee ballot that you call the registrar's office, 757-664-4353. Or if you're in Norfolk, you visit norfolk.gov/elections and you click on the link that says absentee ballots. There's information there, and then there is a way for you to request that information electronically. All right. There is no signature of a witness required for you to return your absentee ballot anymore. We did away with that foolishness. All right. And then if you live in any other locality, go to elections.virginia.gov. You'll click on your locality where you live, and you can ask for your absentee ballot to be mailed to you. Now, here's the thing. Your absentee ballot can be mailed to you anywhere. All right. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're in the military and you live in your residency is in Norfolk and you are stationed someplace else, you can have your ballot mailed to you as long as your place of residence, if you're military, is in Virginia or whatever state. Right. But in Virginia, that's what we do. We will mail your ballot anywhere and you can fill it out and then send it back. Confirm your voting status. I've told you all that the governor has been pulling folks off the voting rolls for quite some time now. And quite frankly, they're doing it all over the United States because they want to hamper, they want to prevent folks from voting in this upcoming election. And again, if voting were not so important, if your vote was not valuable, folks would not be coming for your head. All right, just understand that they would not be coming for your head. And so all these shenanigans that people are pulling, all right, mainly with an R beside their name, because Democrats want to make sure people vote. We want to make sure that people vote. You don't have to vote for a Democrat, although I'd like you to. But as long as you vote, that is your constitutionally guaranteed right to vote in every election. And again, people have died, people have been hosed, people have been bit by dogs, women have been declared insane because they wanted to vote and participate in democracy, participate in the cities, counties, towns, states, and the country that they live in by casting their vote. And here's the thing, y'all. Everybody's candidate doesn't always win. Okay, everybody's candidate, your candidate may not win. And we live in a democracy where the majority rules, okay? And we believe in the peaceful transition of power at every level. Okay. And so just because your candidate didn't win doesn't mean you can deny the candidate that did. And it also doesn't mean that you should take all your toys and go play in another sandbox and not vote in the next election, because there will be a next election and there will be an election after that. And so we want to just make sure that you have the information that you need. Confirm your voting status, even if you voted in the last election. With the shenanigans that this governor in Virginia is pulling, just call down to the elections, the State Board of Elections office, and confirm your voting status. Go online to elections.virginia.gov in order to confirm your status. If you live in Norfolk, again, you can go to norfolk.gov/elections. That is our link to the state site that is specifically designed for Norfolk. Every city has one. Every locality has a page specifically designed to their locality. You can find the sample ballots there of who's on the ballot. You can find out your voting status. If you need to change your address, you can do that as well. There's so much information there, but make sure, first of all, don't wait until the last minute. All right, don't wait until the last minute. Starting on September 20th, which is Friday, folks are going to, the registrar's offices are going to be mailing out the absentee ballots. If you are on the permanent absentee ballot list, you want to make sure that you are looking in your mailbox every day after the 20th in order to receive your ballot. All right. You want to make sure that you're doing that. And so if you haven't received your ballot in a week or so, you want to give the registrar's office a call so that they will know that you have not received your ballot, and then get instruction from them on what you need to do in order to get your absentee ballot. But we want to make sure that everybody who can vote and wants to vote is able to vote. And we want to make sure that folks who are registered to vote, that their names are on the roll, okay, and that they are able to vote, whether it is early, whether it is absentee, or whether it is on election day. All right, so here's the thing. I endorse candidates in elections. So my endorsed candidates for this upcoming election so far are obviously Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. I choose joy. And for those of you who say, oh, I don't know enough about her. Oh, I'm still on the fence. I'm going to tell you this. You know everything that you need to know about Donald Trump. He is not for anybody but himself and corporate America and his rich friends. This will be a disaster of a country if that man becomes president of the United States again. So I'd rather figure out what I don't know about Kamala Harris as we go along, because I don't like anything that I do know about Donald Trump. All right. I don't know how I can be more clear. Then for the Senate, I'm endorsing Senator Tim Kaine. And Norfolk, we have school board and super ward and city council elections. Oh, and you know what? Oh my God, Lord have mercy. I left off the mayor. Okay. And then we got the mayor's election in Norfolk too, right? So I am endorsing Mayor Alexander for reelection, Mayor Kenny Alexander for reelection. I'm also endorsing in Super Ward 6, Jeremy McGee, who's running to for the Super Ward 6 seat. And I'm also endorsing in Super Ward 7, Carlos Clanton for Super Ward 7. And those of you who know my history know that that is where I got my start in public service, was as the city council representative in Super Ward 7. And I am extremely confident that Carlos is able to do the job and will be ready on day one, and will also be able to pick up the ball and keep it rolling because of his work in the community, as well as his work on the Norfolk Public School Board. So I will probably be making more endorsements. Stay tuned to our social media. I'm at AWG Norfolk in, on social media and on Twitter. And then I'm at AWG _ Norfolk in X, or no, not X, Instagram. Yeah. So Instagram is AWG _ Norfolk. Facebook and X are at AWG Norfolk. So these are my endorsed candidates, and they include Mayor Kenny Alexander. All right. So the last thing I've got for you, I want to remind you, tomorrow is, it is tomorrow, right? Yeah. Tomorrow is Wednesday. No, tomorrow's Thursday. So, you know, the days just are like sometimes a big blur for me, right? Time is a big blur sometimes. But tomorrow is our end of summer fundraiser. It is Birds Barbecue and Bourbon with a side of R&B, and I'm excited about it. We've had so many people to purchase tickets. Get your ticket, y'all. If we run out of food because more people showed up than bought tickets in advance, that's not going to be on me. So don't go nowhere telling people, oh, they ran out of food. No, y'all didn't buy your tickets in advance so we can get a good head count. So I need you to go ahead on and go to our Act Blue page, get your tickets for Birds Barbecue and Bourbon with a side of R&B. This is a Black local woman curated experience that I've been able to put together for you. We've got a combination of Black owned businesses, women owned businesses, local talent that is coming tomorrow in order to help us put some fun in fundraising. So we start at 5:30 tomorrow, 5:30 to 8 o'clock, and we're going to be at 330 West 22nd Street in Norfolk. That's right over in Gip. Parking is great. You don't have to worry about any of that. I look forward to seeing your face in the place. I'm going to leave you where I started, and that is to make sure that Norfolk votes. All right. I want to make sure that every person in the city of Norfolk who wants to register to vote is able to do so. That's one of the things that is going to be a recurring theme from now until election day, to make sure that you have the information you need in order to be able to vote. All right. And so we're giving general information where you can find information as it pertains to your locality. And then we're giving Norfolk specific information, because y'all know that's where I represent. I'm a Norfolk girl, born and raised, and I am proud of it. All right. So I am Senator Angela Williams Graves, representing the 21st Senatorial District, where we do good work on your behalf. I am excited to represent you. I am excited about the joyous election season that we have coming up to vote. Our contact information from my office is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. If you need help with anything, please reach out. If you have questions about anything that you've heard today, please reach out to my office. We are here to help you, because we love doing good work on your behalf. And I'm going to tell you what I always tell you, because it's always true. You are a walking, talking, living, breathing miracle. And if nobody has told you that they love you today, I want you to know that your senator loves you. So I will see you soon. We may do an intermediary What's Up Wednesdays in between now and next month, because I just want to make sure that you all are getting all the information that you need in order to vote in this upcoming election, and that my office can be as helpful to you as humanly possible. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll see you soon. Bye.